Сломался. Okay, Ellie. Hello, Ellie.
Hello! Ready for an exciting flight today? With your current heading and location, Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport is just 5 kilometers away. Bearing 028 degrees. Enjoy the view as you fly near iconic landmarks such as the Pentagon and the Washington Monument. Shall we proceed with a scenic tour? Or do you have another destination in mind?
Yeah, I want to start tour.
You're flying from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia on a tour quest, recreating the first post office flight on May 15, 1918. This historic flight was a significant milestone in aviation history, marking the beginning of airmail service in the United States. Your journey starts from Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. Let's honor this remarkable achievement by flying the same route and experiencing a part of aviation history firsthand. Congratulations on reaching Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. In the original flight on May 15, 1918, pilots Lieutenant George Boyle and Major Reuben Fleet carried official airmail post, marking a momentous start for U.S. airmail service. Despite challenges and navigational issues, their determination and skill helped pave the way for future airmail routes. Your next waypoint is the Washington Monument, just 8 kilometers away, bearing 12 degrees.
12 degrees, okay. I see it. Okay. So we are testing the new feature, the tour. And I also improved a little bit AviMate to...
Did you know the Washington Monument was once the tallest structure in the world? Standing at over 555 feet, it held that title until the Eiffel Tower was completed in 1889. Imagine flying past that towering beacon of pride today.
But is it really open to fly over it? Or the airspace is closed here? How is that going? Can I fly with small plane over Washington Monument? In real life, I mean.
In real life, flying over the Washington Monument is highly restricted. The airspace around Washington, D.C., particularly within the Flight Restricted Zone, FRZ, is tightly controlled for security reasons. Special permissions and clearances are required to enter this airspace, typically granted only to authorized aircraft. For general aviation, it's essential to avoid this area to comply with federal regulations.
Well, but can you imagine some airplane with some crazy pilot who pretend to be normal, and then at the end, like, he is not landing actually, but flying to the Washington Monument or all these two beautiful buildings to destroy them, like an act of terrorism, because this place is really close to airfield, and really I'm curious how the government protecting these buildings from such an events.
Security around critical landmarks in Washington, D.C. is indeed a top priority. The Flight Restricted Zone, FRZ, and Special Flight Rules Area, SFRA, are in place to tightly regulate air traffic. Advanced radar systems, strict flight plan requirements, and rapid response military and law enforcement units are part of a comprehensive defense strategy to prevent unauthorized aircraft from posing a threat. Additionally, the continuity of patrols and quick interception capabilities aid in safeguarding these iconic structures.
Okay. Okay, so let's get back to this tower, Washington Monument. I just want to fly low and slow. I have low settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator for today because I need to test a little bit performance of AviMate and to be sure it's all good. Yeah, I reduced it a lot. Okay, this is Monument, right? And you need to fly close to it to activate next waypoint. Let's see how it will happen.
Congratulations on. Here's something to lighten the mood. Did reaching the U.S. Capitol has its own subway system, Washington Monument. Did you know that construction of the monument was built in 19, halted for 09 several years due? It, to a lack of funds, allows senators and representatives to traverse the complex Civil War swiftly without it facing the wasn't completed public or the weather until 1880. Imagine, now flying over it, your next waypoint is, knowing the United, they're zipping around underground state's capital, just 3, secret kilometers away, bearing 87 degrees. Fly Suit CL onward and enjoy the iconic DC skyline, admirals. Cool, right?
Yeah, right. But what is my next waypoint?
Your next waypoint is the United States Capitol. It's just 3 kilometers away on a heading of 87 degrees. After the Capitol, you'll be flying onward towards Fort McHenry National Monument and Historic Shrine, 57 kilometers away on a heading of 43 degrees. Enjoy the historic flight.
Okay. So far it works well. Sometimes it should interrupt the silence if I don't say anything and engage me with some funny or fact trivia about environment around. So I will keep silence. I'm not pushing push to talk and waiting for her to initiate some talking. Or maybe she will initiate talking when I will reach the waypoint. This one. That's United States Capitol, where we next to initiate next one. Hello.
Congratulations on reaching the United States Capitol. Back in 1918, the Capitol was already an iconic symbol of American democracy, and its design was overseen by multiple architects, reflecting evolving styles over time. Your next waypoint is the Fort McHenry National Monument and Historic Shrine, which is 57 kilometers away on a heading of 43 degrees.
That's a lot.
Enjoy this historic segment of your journey.
43 degrees, okay. That's where we will test, I will test how it will engage me during the flight. 43 degrees, right? This plane is really slow. But this is a real original plane they flew in that historical first post-delivery flight. Okay. So she should start talking with me about 1.5 minutes after the last sentence was said. Were said. Yeah. Or was said. Were said. I hope. If it's not broken already.
Here's a fun tidbit for
Yeah.
you. Did you know that the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum houses the largest collection of historic aircraft and spacecraft in the world? It's located just a few kilometers from our current heading. Imagine all the incredible feats of engineering and bravery on display there, from the Wright brothers flyer to the Apollo 11 command module.
Yeah, it would be nice. Actually, I think it would be really nice to make some quick window, like displaying what she is talking about. Like few, I don't know, few screens of this aviation museum. But I am not yet ready to think of it, as I need to fix something else first and deliver it finally to people. Okay, let's fly more. I think it can take up to half an hour to fly with current speed. Hey, how far is this location and how long should I fly there? Because yeah, I don't have my calculator with me. What?
Your next waypoint, the Fort McHenry National Monument and Historic Shrine, is approximately 57 kilometers away. With your current airspeed of 58 kilometers per hour, it should take you about 1 hour to reach it. Maintain your heading of 43 degrees and enjoy the scenic route as you make this historic flight. Fly confident and steady.
Okay, now it's like boring part. Like to really reproduce it, you need to fly that long, and this I don't know, scenery is not much interesting. Just private sector, some buildings, nothing fun. So that's when we need AviMate to engage the flight, like to entertain me. So let's wait what she can do in this situation, when we have nothing to talk about, like nothing to ask about, like what the fuck, who cares for that? Okay, give me some something. I'm gonna reply with that. Yeah, I can ask her, but there's nothing to ask about, right? So I really don't
No
care.
problem. Let's lighten the mood with a fascinating tidbit. Did you know that the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum is home to the largest collection of historic aircraft and spacecraft in the world? Just imagine, everything from the Wright brothers flyer to the Apollo 11 command module is displayed there. Isn't it amazing how those pioneering machines paved the way for us up here in the sky today?
Yeah, that's amazing. I would like really to visit it once in my life, but USA is too far from my point, so I've never ever get it in plan. But you already talked about that, you know. Maybe you can talk about something else in my environment to entertain me.
Absolutely. Let's explore something else. Did you know that Fort McHenry National Monument and Historic Shrine is famously linked to the Star-Spangled Banner? The fort defended Baltimore Harbor during the War of 1812, and it's where Francis Scott Key penned the lyrics to what would become the United States national anthem. Today, it's a symbol of resilience and patriotism. Enjoy the anticipation as you fly toward this historic site.
Yeah, that's more interesting. Could you please tell me some stories about war? Maybe some books are written, maybe some citates from the books, something that like I can hear for long while I'm flying there. Here, listen. I can listen.
During the War of 1812, Fort McHenry played a pivotal role in the defense of Baltimore. One particularly gripping account is the bombardment on September 13th and 14th, 1418, when British naval forces attacked the fort. Francis Scott Key, witnessing the battle from a ship, was inspired by the sight of the American flag still flying over the fort at dawn. This scene led him to write the Star-Spangled Banner, which later became the national anthem. For a literary view, The Guns of August * by Barbara Tuchman provides a detailed chronicle of the early days of World War I. The book captures the intense political maneuvers and the harrowing experiences on the battlefield. Its vivid descriptions and insightful analysis make it a timeless resource for understanding the complexities and human stories within wartime.
Well, could you please tell me some human story? I guess you was reading such a books. Maybe you can share something.
Absolutely. Let's dive into a remarkable human story. During World War II, Louis Zamperini, an Olympic athlete, became a bombardier in the U.S. Army Air Corps. His plane crashed in the Pacific, leading to an extraordinary tale of survival. Zamperini and 2 crew members drifted for 47 days on a lifeboat, battling sharks, starvation, and the elements, before being captured by the Japanese Navy and enduring harsh conditions as a prisoner of war. This inspiring story of resilience and the human spirit is vividly portrayed in the book *Unbroken* by Laura Hillenbrand. It details Zamperini's incredible journey from a young runner to a war hero, showcasing his unyielding determination and courage in the face of unimaginable adversity. Truly a testament to human endurance and willpower.
Yeah, I need to get rid of this asterisk. I don't know, I need to fix you a little bit. But can you please from now do not use any asterisks, and I guess you are trying to format things, but don't use formatting and not use any asterisks and stuff like that, okay?
Understood. No formatting or asterisks from now on.
Yeah.
Let's continue with our journey. As we head towards Fort McHenry, consider the story of Harriet Tubman. She was an escaped slave who became a leading figure in the Underground Railroad, guiding many to freedom despite tremendous risk. Her bravery and relentless pursuit of liberty continue to inspire people around the world. Stories like hers remind us of the remarkable potential of human courage and determination.
What was the price of this aircraft in that age? Do you know anything about the prices of aircraft? How much it was cost like then, and compared to how much it would cost now?
Cleared for takeoff runway 1 Delta 1740 heavy.
The Curtiss JN-4D Jenny, used in the original 1918 airmail flight, was a popular training aircraft during World War I. Back in its prime, the Jenny cost around $5,000. Adjusting for inflation, that would be roughly $80,000 to $90,000 in today's currency. A modern general aviation aircraft with similar specifications typically range from $100,000 to $300,000, depending on technology and features. The Jenny holds a special place in aviation history for its role in training and early mail delivery.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like
67 line up and wait.
almost what you can. No, it's now it's more expensive than. But mainly because materials are more expensive. You have avionics, so you're not buying such a simple plane. But if you buy such a simple plane, it will be like Cessna, and Cessna is actually in that range that
Washington Tower,
the
Southwest
Jenny was
1318,
before.
heavy ready for departure runway.
Interesting.
15 bar to Dallas Love. Southwest 1318, heavy, hold short runway 1. Traffic is Airbus A20N on upwind.
Okay.
Delta 1740, heavy.
I don't
contact
want to
Dallas
listen for
departure
your
on 11
radio.
85. Good day. Hold short runway 1 Southwest 1318, heavy.
Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know that the iconic Fort McHenry's defense mechanism in 1814 was firing a Congreve rocket, an early form of rocket artillery?
No,
This was a big deal back then. It's fascinating how these primitive rockets paved the way for modern rocketry. So enjoy the neat detail as you imagine flying near such a historic site with your Jenny today.
Yeah. Okay, so how attackers try to attack it? They did it with ships, as I guessing with ships, or it was how the attack of this fort was planned and went. Can you little bit give me about about that? I'm the fucking best guy to represent
The British
it.
attack on Fort McHenry during the War of 1812 was primarily naval. On September 13 to 14, 1814, a fleet of British warships pounded the fort with bombs, rockets, and shell fire from the safety of their vessels in Baltimore Harbor. The bombardment lasted for 25 hours, with around 2,000 shells fired. Despite the intensity of the attack, the fort's defenders, commanded by Major George Armistead, held firm. The design of Fort McHenry, a star-shaped fortress, along with resilient defenders, helped absorb and repel the bombardment. The sight of the American flag still flying over the fort at dawn inspired Francis Scott Key to pen the Star-Spangled Banner, immortalizing this moment in American history.
You said me that is using an anthem. Could you please give me those lyrics for the anthem?
Sure thing. Here are the lyrics to The Star-Spangled Banner,
and that's
written
beginning.
by Francis Scott Key. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
Okay, so
what
that's
so
what I was
proudly we
tasting.
hailed at the twilight's
some
last gleaming?
So fuck off. You see, at some point it just start to, I don't know, glitching, and I don't have any idea why it's happening. It's definitely a language model not involved. It's something about audio. So now I will try to find it. Yeah, but it's much better than before.